On April 9th, 2026, I finally got to do a trip that I have been planning for almost a year now. My return to Griffith Railfan Park. Just looking at this place, you might suspect that there's going to be a lot of trains, but in reality, there isn't. Griffith is definitely quality of trains over quantity of trains, which you're definitely going to see in this video. That's because both of these lines are CN. One of them is the Matson subdivision, which is the former Elton, Julia, and Eastern line, and the other one is the South Bend subdivision, which is former Grand Trunk. Neither of these lines see too many trains, but the trains they do see, oh boy, they're pretty insane. Now, before this trip, I had been to Griffith once before, on March 15th, 2025. That trip was an unintentional side quest from Hammond because I was really bored and there was nothing running in Hammond, and I knew Griffith would have stuff. We headed down there, and although we didn't get to spend very much time there, we did end up seeing 3 trains, 2 manifest and 1 local with a Death Star leader. Quite a nice trip. Because that trip was so brief, I wanted to go back to Griffith to stay there for longer, and hopefully get more shots, and maybe there'll actually be stuff running this time. Foreshadowing. Anyways, while we were driving to Griffith, we got stopped by CN. Yeah, they must have known we were out to see them on this day. We got stopped in Kingsbury at this random crossing on Highway 6, and lo and behold, a CN manifest appeared with a Dash 9 trailing. Awesome. With the CN Dash 9s getting rebuilt, I'm very glad I got to see another one. After another 45 minutes on the road, we finally arrived back at Griffith Railfan Park, and man, I was so excited. In fact, I was way more excited than anyone should reasonably be because of, this.
Oh my god. Grand Trunk Unit.
There were 3 trains coming, and one of those 3 trains was CN L515, parked in Griffith Yard with a Grand Trunk Unit as solo lead. Let's go! The headlight was on, so we knew it was crewed, but it wasn't moving, so we had to wait. In the meantime, I took a look at some of the equipment on display in Griffith, including this E&J caboose, which is fully metal, by the way. Most cabooses are wooden, so that was cool. This boxcar, which was later converted into a troop sleeper car. This Erie Lackawanna caboose, which is a remnant from the days when Erie Lackawanna used to run through here. That line is now abandoned and is now a trail. Behind that is this random unmarked flat car and a WLO boxcar. After I was done looking at those, me and the 2 other rail fans there were surprised because we heard rumbling and knew a train was near. We looked down the 2 lines and there wasn't anything. As it turned out, the train was a manifest which was currently turning from the Matson sub onto the South Bend sub using one of the connecting tracks. It was a pretty decent train too, with 2 relatively fresh engines in the lead, the trailing one being a newly rebuilt SD75 IACC. Just after it passed, this small plane flew overhead. This was one of several that were flying over Griffith on this day. Must have been an air show nearby. After that, it was a while of nothing. I chatted with the other rail fans and just sat around and waited. 45 minutes had passed before the time anything showed up. The gates randomly went down, catching all 3 of us off guard, just before CN L521 rounded the corner with the best train of the day. It was a Grand Trunk paper unit SD40 long hood forward leading with an ICG caboose at the end. What a train. After that, we had to wait another 45 minutes for more action. On the rails, that is, because there were more planes flying overhead, of course. When the action finally did come, it was extremely exciting, because L515 was on the move, with an original Grand Trunk paint unit in the lead. After just seeing a Grand Trunk paper unit, it was almost like this day was a Grand Trunk revival, kind of. It was Grand Trunk 4909, which actually started life as a Missouri Pacific unit, crazily enough, and still wears its Grand Trunk paint scheme from the days of the Good Track Road. This is my first original Grand Trunk unit moving, so I'm very glad I caught this, and so were all the other rail fans there on this day. Sadly, it only crossed over its home rails and it's on the Matson sub, but it was still cool. This train also had quite a surprise at the end, although not as cool as the caboose. It was a string of brand new Procar tank cars. After that, there was no sign of any more trains. The manifest with the X-City Rail trailing was still parked with no lights, there was nothing running on any of the lines, and so we had no reason to stay in Griffith any longer. I took one last view of the Railfan Park for now, from the top of the signal box which you can climb up, before we decided to leave and go on a little side quest to Ogden Dunes. Now here at the Ogden Dunes South Shore passenger station, obviously the South Shore line is there, but right next to it is also the Norfolk Southern Chicago line, making for quite a nice rail fanning spot. Literally as we were pulling in, something showed up. But it wasn't a train, it was maintenance equipment. A ballast spreader and a tie adjuster rolled by on the end of Chicago line. When we actually pulled into the parking lot, it didn't take long before the two maintenance vehicles returned, revealing their friendly crews. I got a horn salute from the tie adjuster and a big wave from the ballast spreader. Thanks to the fact that this is a South Shore passenger station, we knew that a train would pull in at 1:39, so we decided to wait for that, and exactly at 1:39 it appeared, with a set of 3 double-decker multiple units, the middle one being one leased from Metra. And so, with nothing else running, we decided to go home. While we didn't see very many trains on this trip, it was definitely a quality over quantity type of situation, as I mentioned earlier. I hope you enjoyed this brief look at these two spots, which I'll definitely be back to in the future. Hope you enjoyed, catch those units while you can, especially the Grand Trunk ones, and I will see you in the next video.